Well, I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. If I share with you my story, would you share your dollar with me? Come on, share your dollar with me. I said share your dollar with me. Come on, share your dollar. Give me your dollar, share your dollar with me. Come on, share your dollar with me. I don't know why I keep doing that. Anyways, guys, what's up? It is a Saturday, early afternoon, late morning, December 2nd, 2023. Met up with Silver Scorpion yesterday for a little bit. I had to do some things, but I went up to the coin shop, and I got a confession to make, guys. No disrespect to anybody that goes to coin shows or anybody that's in the gold and silver, but I just didn't feel the same in there anymore like I used to. When I used to go to coin shows, guys, it's like taking a crackhead into a crack house for me. Now, I'm not saying I didn't have any wants to buy any precious metals, because I did. There was a few things that I wanted to buy. But what I saw in there, I saw 90% of the people in there were older men and good men. I saw good people in there, man. Good, solid, caring people that love what they do, man. You know what I mean? I respect that. But unfortunately, I kind of felt like when I was walking through the coin show, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just telling you how I felt. I felt like, now that I'm really into Bitcoin and know about Bitcoin, I felt like I was a guy from the future going back in the past. And I was on like this train, like this futuristic train riding through a town from people back in the 1800s on horseback or something. That's how I felt. They want to get to the destination, but they're taking the, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the slower, less efficient ride. But that's for another video. I've actually had 3 subscribers talk to me since I've sold my silver or whatever. I didn't sell all my silver, by the way. I still have some. I sold the majority of it, though. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I had a few of them reach out to me and told me that they thought Bitcoin was BS, and they took my advice and they started learning on their own. And they said, man, you were right. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it's true. And again, guys, Bitcoin is not my thing. I'm not selling you anything on Bitcoin because I don't own it. I don't sell it. I don't make a dime doing it. But why do I do it, right? Now, again, I'm getting ready for 2024. So all these videos now in 2023, late 2023, are going to be precursors to what I'm going to be focused on in 2024. And I'll probably make another video like this going into a little bit more detail, but I'm telling you why I'm doing this, right? It is for selfish reasons. Anybody that tells you they're just this philanthropist and all they care about is helping the world and not helping themselves, I don't trust those kind of people. Everyone on the planet has self-interest, right? Everybody does. That's why we stack. We have these precious metals and Bitcoin and stuff because we're stacking for ourselves and for our family's future and stuff like that. That's why we do it. So the reason I'm going so hard on Bitcoin, and again, I'm not going to be doing this for long because I may be doing this for 10 years, maybe 5 to 10 years. I don't know. Because Bitcoin is like the internet when it came out. You know, when the internet first came out, they used to have all these conferences and groups and all these nerdy people trying to talk to people and sell people on why the internet is good and what it's going to do for the world. And of course, people didn't believe them. They thought they were crazy. Do you remember this clip with Dave Letterman and Bill Gates?
What about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there. The latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell? You know what I mean? It's just...
There's a difference. You can listen to the baseball game whenever you want.
All right. Do tape recorders ring a bell?
Now, again, guys, I don't like Bill Gates, okay? But, what did he say? What did David Letterman say? You know what I mean? Well, can't we just listen to the game on the radio? It's just crazy. We're going to be looking back at these times when Bitcoin was in its early days and be like, wow, I can't believe what it's doing. I don't do this, guys, for the number go up technology, although that's part of it. And it is going to go up, right? I'm never going to sell my Bitcoin. I know you guys are thinking, like, what do you mean not going to sell it? I don't measure anymore. I don't measure my worth in US dollars. I spend in US dollars, but I measure my worth now in Satoshis now, because I know in the future, that's what people are going to be going by. They're going to say one day, that person's a whole coiner or that person's a whole coiner. That's going to be the new millionaire. I'm predicting that less than 500,000 people on the planet will have one full Bitcoin. Every time Michael Saylor and these companies and these countries are buying, governments are buying these Bitcoins at a high clip, that's one less for everyone else to have as a full Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, again, bought 100-something thousand Bitcoin, and that's 100-something thousand people that are not going to be able to have a full Bitcoin. And there's only 21 million that's ever going to be minted, and there's between 14 and 17 million available based on the ones that are lost and stuff like that. So again, if you're a whole coiner, because I believe there's between 56 and 66 millionaires in the world, something like that. And again, I estimate, and I've seen different estimates, that there are only going to be 500,000 people to get a whole Bitcoin. Now, am I telling you to get a whole Bitcoin? No, I'm not telling you that. If you're up to a whole coin as far as information and education, and you have the money, I would suggest you do it then. But if it's too large of a net worth for you, as of this recording, Bitcoin's about 38,000, and you don't have the education, then don't buy it. Only buy up to your education. But back to what I was saying, the reason I'm doing this is obviously for selfish reasons, but I'm doing this for my personal stacking. I'm doing this for generations in advance, right? The amount of Bitcoin that I buy today, because I'm the only one that can buy this much today, because my grandson or my daughter, when they're my age, can't get as much Bitcoin as I can, because less than 0.5% of people in the world understand and know what Bitcoin is. They just don't know. And so, but I do, and I'm working, so I'm getting it at a very, very cheap rate with currently the strongest currency in the world. That's US currency, but albeit it's a dying currency, and I'm purchasing a lot of Satoshis every single day. Right now, for $30, as of this recording, I can get 77,000 Bitcoin. A couple of months ago, for $30, I was getting over 100,000 Bitcoin. And it's just going to keep doing that. It's just going to keep going down. It's going to cost more US dollars to get the same amount of Bitcoin as you did before. You're going to get less Bitcoin for the same amount of US dollars. So that's my own personal family. I'm buying my own personal Bitcoin for that. But the reason I make these videos, I'm really going to go strong in 2024, almost like a presidential campaign, is because it's also for personal reasons. I want to make sure, in the United States in particular, we get enough strong Bitcoiners out there. And again, I'm not going to be able to get or reach 10 million Bitcoiners myself, because that's the number about what we need. Corey Clipston, the president and the CEO of Swan, I think he's the CEO or the president, one or the other. He wrote he did an essay talking about that, saying that why we need at least 10 million Bitcoiners, because I believe that's a certain percentage of people in America to be Bitcoiners, is because there's a lot of tyranny going on. And when you fix the money, you fix the world.
So your company has this mission to create 10 million Bitcoiners, and I think there's basically a story behind this that I didn't know until I saw that you or someone else posted it on Twitter the other day. Why do you have a mission to bring or to make 10 million Bitcoiners?
Yeah, so this was actually the mission statement of the company. I wrote it back in February of 2020, a month before we launched. And 10 million Bitcoiners is the number that you need in the United States to get to an intransigent minority, which in populations generally is like 3 to 4% of the population. So like in the UK, when they got to like 3 or 4% of the population demanding halal meat, then that flips everything to being halal. And basically it's because the 97% don't really care. It's not that big a deal to them, but it's a huge deal to that intransigent minority that absolutely must have the meat prepared a certain way. Similarly, in Bitcoin here in the United States, which is the only entity, the only organizing countervailing force contra Bitcoin that can matter in the next century, is the United States government. There's literally no other entity on earth that can coordinate anything that would really make life difficult for Bitcoin and Bitcoiners. And Bitcoin's still going to win in the long run, regardless. Like, this will be global money no matter how long it takes. That's just kind of game theoretically how it's going to end up. But life could be awesome for Bitcoiners in 2040, or it could really fucking suck, and it might not be a fun life for Bitcoiners until like 2100. And so this is this concept that I talk about a lot of the race versus the war, where if you win the adoption race, you don't ever have to fight the war.
And if we have our own money and we take back control of our currencies, our savings, the monetary system, and not leave it in the hands of the people that are by the money printer and the cotillionaires, and they can't print Bitcoin, and we get enough people doing that, and then once these elections start coming up and we elect Bitcoin only politicians, because there will be politicians like that only think about Bitcoin, and there's some now.
Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming is the founder of the Financial Innovation Caucus in Congress, and I sat down with her for CNBC's Financial Advisor Summit, and she told me she envisions Bitcoin in particular becoming an important component of individual retirement portfolios. She believes it can serve as a hedge against inflation as the size of the nation's debt relative to GDP hits historic highs.
I encourage people to buy and hold. I encourage them to save Bitcoin for their retirement, for their future. And that's because as the Congress spends trillions and trillions of dollars and is flooding our economy and the world economy with US dollars, there's no way that we cannot debase the value of the US dollars.
And Lummis practices what she preaches. She's an investor in Bitcoin as well.
I buy Bitcoin and I hold Bitcoin.
You buy Bitcoin?
Oh, yes.
You have Bitcoin?
I do.
How much Bitcoin do you have?
Well, I only have, I think, 5 Bitcoin.
We have a chance not to be ruined by these central bank digital currencies introduced to us by saving us, by creating a problem of massive inflation control, and then giving us a UBI, universal basic income, to compensate for the problems they started, and then to put us on the CBDCs. Bitcoin's the only way to save us from the central bank digital currencies, and best believe they're coming, ladies and gentlemen. The United States, the government, the Fed, they kicked the can down the road a long time. I don't know how long they can keep doing it. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, within the next 3 years or anything. The dollar is going to die, because I think other countries, when their dollars collapse before us, they're going to rush into ours, and it's going to dilute the dollars out there in the world, because that's just more dollars spread out throughout the world, right? So It's all about supply and demand of the money. So if the supply in the United States is high, but then we spread more dollars out to countries like Argentina, we were already doing El Salvador, countries that are already dollarized, and the countries that are coming up that are going to be collapsing, their fiat's going to be collapsing, they dollarize and we put out more dollars. Even though we are printing at a high rate, we're not printing as high of a rate as the other countries, and we're diluting the dollars all over the country. And that's the power of the US government and being the world reserve currency. So that's why I don't think we're going to die that soon, despite what a lot of people want to say or talk about. But the US dollar is still dying. And while it's dying, Bitcoin is getting stronger, not because of the US dollar is dying. That's a little bit a part of it, but because the more people that buy it and hold it, the more people that lose their Bitcoin, whether they die with their coins or lose their coins, and the supply goes down, and the hash rate and the network and the ideas of these people that are going to be building on top of Bitcoin, and also just the information it's going to bring to light about the corrupt system. When you can opt out of that corrupt system and go into something very noble that can free you from this tyranny and stuff like that, that's going to make Bitcoin even stronger. I got to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. If I'm making a video or I'm making a channel called Jerry Loves Freedom, I cannot sit here on this information that I have and not scream and holler about it to everybody within arm's length of me. I just can't do it. I have to. And again, for my own personal benefit, it will help us get onto a Bitcoin standard quicker. And what I mean by a Bitcoin standard, I mean the United States, the whole world, another country, whatever, using Bitcoin as legal tender in the world reserve currency, period. Bitcoin being it. It'll help stop wars. It'll help famine, people being poor, people fighting, all these things. And I'll make a video about that. But I got to work hard at this, man, in 2024. And again, guys, I can't tell you this enough. If you're on my channel still and you don't have Bitcoin, you're on the wrong channel. And again, I don't mean any disrespect by that. I'm not telling you how to spend your hard-earned money. That's your energy. But the reason you have the things and you're a part-time investor now, because you have to be a part-time investor in order to save. In order to save what you worked for, you can't just put cash in the bank, because you guys know that they're printing more dollars versus the goods and services that are out there. They're debasing your currency. They're stealing from you. They're stealing your energy. In order to keep up with that, you have to be a part-time investor. You got to be a part-time portfolio manager. just to keep your savings, just to keep your energy and your hard work that you did. The reason why you buy those precious metals and the real estate and the stock portfolio and everything that you have is for those reasons. And the reason why I stack so hard on Bitcoin, because there is no second best.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay?
And I'm not talking about just cryptocurrencies. I'm talking about real estate and all the things I just named. There's nothing even close to Bitcoin as far as not only keeping up with inflation, but surpassing it, killing it, and making you a very, very rich person for you, your lineage, for generations to come. And I'm serious about that.
But take all your money, buy Bitcoin, then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin, then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is either going to go to zero and crash, which I've tried to find every way but loose to figure that out, how it's going to do it. And it looks like it's not going to crash, but it's either going to crash and go to zero and be nothing, or it's going to be everything. And I'm not trying to sell you a dream. I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin, but on this channel, you will not be misinformed. I will never look back 5 years from now with any regret saying, why didn't I tell my viewers? I'm going to look back 5 years from now and say, I did everything I could. I jumped up and down and told my viewers to do that. I just didn't do a good job enough maybe, or they didn't believe me or whatever. I guess I'm kind of like a politician in a sense. A lot of people tell me I should be a politician, this, that, and the third. The reason I don't, honestly, is because I know for a fact that the system is going to collapse. I know for a fact that one man can't come in there and fix all these problems. I can't do it. I know the system is corrupt. And if I came in to that said system, I would just be part of the problem. Even though I'd be screaming and hollering, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to accept any money from the bureaucrats or the big companies, or I'll be ripping the mainstream media apart. And honestly, for selfish purposes, I don't want things to crash and burn under my watch. I'm going to be honest with you about that. Those are for the people that keep asking me, why don't I run for politics? It's a crooked game. But what I am running for is solidarity, sovereignty, freedom, the rights of the people, Constitution, constitutional rights, all the amendments, and to remind people that we don't work for the government and the government works for us. And they should have our backs instead of doing all these things that they're doing, man. And it's evil, and I'm here just to wake people up. And the only thing that can save us, man, right now is two things, or three things, is getting right with God, in my personal opinion, having the information of knowing what's going on, and just being in the know. And they say knowledge is power. I don't believe that. Knowledge is not power. If you guys know about Bitcoin and have the knowledge and don't have any, that's not power, that's ignorance. Because you're taking information and not doing anything with it. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. And you got to apply all the knowledge based on the information and the studies you're doing. Don't listen to me. Don't trust, verify. That's what we say in Bitcoin. Do your own research. Prove me wrong. I'm campaigning for freedom and sovereignty and all the things I listed earlier in 2024. Would I like Donald Trump to win? Sure. Would I want Vivek Ramaswamy to win? Sure. But do I think they're going to save us and stop the system from collapsing? No. No. I do think they can do a lot of things that I'm against right now. They can fix a lot of that stuff. I really think they can. Again, guys, it's not about me. It's not about anything else. It's about your family and your future, and you work hard for your money, man. And the best way to save that hard-earned energy that you have, the best way to save it, and to me, the only way to save it, is through Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.